again. I'm very sorry. The battery died, so we had to stop the video. Can't remember exactly what I was talking about. I might have been talking about overhead, like when you go to Market Basket and you're buying something. They have to pay for the electricity. They have to pay for the heat of the store. That's all overhead. So the example in the next one is, in his sporting goods store, Mr. Foster sold $150,000 in merchandise last June. He paid $73,000 for the merchandise, and his overhead was $43,000. What was his net profit? So we want to find out what was his actual profit, because he has to pay for the merchandise and then also his overhead, which is like your electricity and your heat and stuff like that, your salary to your employees. So here's the formula. Net profit equals selling price minus, in parentheses, the cost plus the overhead. So we have to add those two things together. So the net profit, he made $150,000 minus the $73,000. That the $73,000 was what he paid for the merchandise, and the $43,000 was his overhead. So you have to add those two together. So that becomes 116,000. So then you take 150,000 minus the 116,000, and you come up with a net profit of 34,000. So that's what his actual profit was. That's what he made. When you go sell lemonade at a lemonade stand, you go sit at the end of the street, and you're selling lemonade for 50 cents. But do you really make 50 cents for every cup you sell? When you think about it, you had to buy the cups, you had to buy the lemonade. That's pretty much it with lemonade stand. You have to buy, unless you make a sign, you'd have to buy the poster that you made the sign, the markers that you made the sign with. So that's all overhead, all that stuff. Okay, here is the next example. We're going to talk about loss in the next example. The loss is the excess of the cost plus the overhead over the selling price. So it's the cost plus the overhead, in parentheses, minus the selling price. So here's our example. Morgan Evans paid $90 for a chair. She sold the chair for $95 after spending $12 on repairs. So she had to fix the chair. People do this when they buy a house or they're selling a house. Sometimes when you're selling a house, you might be selling the house for $200,000, but the heater went, so you're going to have to fix the heater before you sell the house. So that's all another cost that's added on to you. So here's the loss. We've got the $90 that she paid for the chair, and she sold it for $95, but she spent $12 on repairs. So 90 plus 12 is what she spent, which is $102. And then she got $95 for it. So her loss was $7. That wasn't a good business deal for her. Okay, the next one, example 5, on the next page, on page 100. Woohoo, we make it to page 100. Miss Ramirez marks up her merchandise by 25%, so she'll have enough for the overhead plus a net profit. If she pays $12 for a set of juice glasses, what will be her selling price? So first you have to find 25% of the cost of the item. So we're going to do 25% of 12. 25% is 1/4 times $12. So 1/4 of 12 is $3. So that's the cost of the item. Bless you. Then you have to add the markup of $3 to the cost of the glasses. So this is the markup of $3. So it was $12 plus $3 is $15. So the selling price for the glasses is $15. And that's that one. The last one over here, the problem is Mr. Bryant knew the cost plus overhead for a sofa was $425. He sold the sofa at a 30% loss because he needed the extra space in the store. So he just wanted to get rid of that sofa, so he sold it at a cheaper price. Find the selling price of the sofa. So the first thing you have to do is find 30% of $425. So we can multiply it by 0.30, and you don't need that extra 0. So 0.3 times 425 is $127.50. So that's how much money he lost. To find the selling price, you subtract the loss from his cost of $425. So this was the cost, $425. So we're going to do $425 minus the selling price, and the selling price of the I didn't mean that. His loss. The cost minus the loss, and that equals the selling price, which is $297.50. Okay, The key word for today is gum. Chewing gum. Chewing gum like a horse. No, chewing gum like a cow. Just chewing gum is fine. All right, see you tomorrow. Bye.